Hi, this is Hanegraaff, president of the Christian Research Institute and host of the Bible Answer Man broadcast with another Hank Unplugged short. Early this morning, I was reading an article in the Economist, and it has precipitated a whole host of thoughts in my mind, and I'll try to communicate those thoughts in this short. The article in the Economist noted that there is a precipitous decline of Christianity in England and Wales. So precipitous that less than 1/2 of the population now consider themselves to be Christian at all, and the number of people who have no religion has rocketed up 57%. In the meantime, Islam has risen 42%, that partly due to immigration, and there are obviously many other factors as well, but millions of Muslims have come to places like England and also America to fill a void created by death and abortion. And while Christians are being marginalized in the West, we should never forget that they're also being martyred in the East. The fact that Christianity is in process of becoming a minority religion is actually symbolized by the picture of the coronation of King Charles alongside a Hindu prime minister and a Muslim mayor, the Muslim mayor of London. But perhaps as troubling as all this is that what is left of the church in England, and even in America, has become increasingly irrelevant. Instead of being change agents in the culture, the church has become a microcosm of the culture. More often than not, the notion that marriage is between a man and a woman, or that biological sex is real, those notions have become anathema. In other words, the church has become increasingly political correct. Moreover, Christianity has been infiltrated by the Marxist maxim that religion is the opium of the people, that the abolition of religion is the demand for their real happiness, and that they are in need of giving up a condition that requires, illusions, that there really is no heaven, there really is no hell, that the real goal is to establish heaven on earth. When a culture built on the Judeo-Christian ethic dies, Western civilization dies with it. And even what is left is greatly marginalized. Well, we can curse the darkness or we can be part of the solution. And I believe that the solution is to awaken the church from a diabetic coma that has been brought on by a steady diet of fast food Christianity, to rid the church of its cultural captivity, to know, as I say so often, what you believe and why you believe it, and also to be energized by a power that is in you but not of you. To refocus our attention on that great and glorious reality that Christ became man so that we might be adopted into the family of God. Because we're not merely saved from sin. We are saved for divine adoption. To be, as sons and daughters of God, called into the very life of the Trinity. I love a quote that I took the time to memorize some time ago by St. Gregory Palamas. Many of you would be familiar with him. He was one of the great orators in the 14th century. He once said that when a pot is in a kiln, it shares in the very life of the fire. It takes on its hot and burning qualities. And then becomes capable of transferring that very energy to something else. Even when removed from the fire, the pot still participates in the fire's effects, but it no longer participates in the energies of the fire itself. Polymus went on to say that the participation in the energies of the fire is the truer participation than the participation in the effects. And thus he said, while all creatures participate in the effects of their Creator, not all participate in God's very life, because that is reserved for the saints who have God not only as Maker, but also as Father through divine adoption. Through divine adoption, we become by grace what the Son of Man is by nature. We become children of God, God's by grace, God's by participation in the divine nature. To recognize the church for what it really is. That is the essence of what I've been thinking about all day. Recognizing the church for what it really is. It's the sacred sphere within which union of human persons with God is accomplished. We need to realize that it is through the church that God's saving power is mediated to the whole of humanity. When we recognize that, we become transformational agents rather than microcosms of the culture. United to God, united to one another, the church is then empowered by an unlimited flow of divine energy by which to provide light and life to the world. I was thinking this morning that if the church were to throw off its cultural captivity, she may well experience a second iteration of Pentecost, a sound from heaven, the mighty rushing wind, the baptism of the Holy Spirit and fire, the manifestation of the uncreated, inexhaustible energy supply that alone is sufficient to save the world. That's why at the Christian Research Institute we say over and over again that truth matters. It really, really matters. But life matters more. Even now I'm thinking about something that Vladimir Losky said when he said that Christian theology is, in the last resort, a means. It is a unity of knowledge that subserves an end that transcends all knowledge. And that ultimate end is union with God, or deification, properly understood, something that I wrote about in my book, Truth Matters, Life Matters More. Well, as we come towards the end of this year, and maybe you'll even hear this Unplugged in the new year, I don't know. But as we come to the end of this year, I pray that the year 2023 will be a year in which you don't simply reflect the culture, but you become a change agent in the culture. That's what we are committed to do as an organization. We're committed to making a difference while there's still time. I will never be politically correct, but I hope that in some small way I can be used of God to make you make a difference. We can change the world. You know, a very small band of scattered, scared disciples did so in the first century. And I think we can do it again in the 21st century. But it means being empowered, as I said before, by by a power that is in you but not of you. So we might rightly say it's not by might nor by power, but by his Spirit. Thanks for tuning in.